Welcome, traveler. Tonight, we will take a journey unlike any other. A journey that begins not with footsteps, but with whispers carried on the wind. Long before highways, before trains, before the humming of airplanes, there existed a road, ancient, mysterious, and alive. They called it the Silk Road. But it was never truly one road. It was a web, a living tapestry of paths and trails that stretched across mountains, deserts, and entire worlds. From the misty gates of the Chinese city of Chang'an to the golden domes of distant Byzantium, caravans wound their way across the heart of the world. Every footstep left a trace. Every merchant carried not only goods, but the dreams of their people. And tonight, we walk beside them. We follow the path of those who carried silk and spices, faith and philosophy, stories and secrets. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Let the sands of time rise and swirl around you. You are standing at the edge of the Silk Road, and the caravan is about to depart. The story of the Silk Road begins more than 2,000 years ago, in the age of emperors and dynasties. It was the 2nd century before the Common Era. The Han dynasty ruled China with vision and ambition. The emperor Han Wudi sought connection with the unknown lands of the West, lands whispered about in stories, where horses ran swift as wind and gold glimmered in rivers beneath the mountains. He sent his emissary, Zhang Qian, to find these places. The journey took years, across deserts that scorched by day and froze by night, across endless plains of silence and wind. Zhang Qian was captured, imprisoned, escaped, and yet he returned. He brought with him tales of strange peoples and mighty kingdoms beyond the horizon, Bactria, Parthia, and the lands of Persia. And so the dream began. From the east came silk, a fabric so light it floated in the air, so soft it seemed woven from clouds. From the west came gold, glass, perfumes, and gems that shimmered like captured starlight. And between them rose the Silk Road. Not one road, but many, threaded together like veins through the body of the ancient world. Imagine it now, the morning sun climbing above the dunes. The air still cool, the sand pale gold beneath the first light. A caravan stirs to life. Camels rise from their knees, groaning softly under the weight of loaded packs, silks, porcelain, spices, lapis lazuli, and scrolls. Men wrap turbans against the wind. A child tugs on a tethering rope. A merchant checks his maps drawn on parchment smoothed by years of travel. They move slowly, deliberately. Every step measured, every footprint a story. The Silk Road is a world of contrasts. Sunlight and shadow, desert and oasis, hope and exhaustion. At night, they rest beneath 1,000 stars. The wind hums softly across the dunes. A small fire flickers, painting gold upon weathered faces. Voices rise in 12 languages: Chinese, Persian, Arabic, Greek, Sogdian, each tongue carrying the rhythm of a faraway home. Over shared bread and tea, they trade more than goods. They trade songs, stories, dreams. And in that gentle glow of firelight, they become a single people, the travelers of the Silk Road. Wherever the road wound, cities rose to greet it. Samarkand, a name whispered like a prayer through centuries. A city of turquoise domes, glittering tiles, and minarets that touched the sky. Here, merchants met in courtyards filled with fountains. The scent of rosewater mingled with the spice of saffron and the smoke of incense. Bukhara, a city of scholars, where ideas were traded as eagerly as gold. Its libraries overflowed with manuscripts, poetry, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. Kashgar, the desert's final jewel, where east met west at the edge of the Taklamakan. There, caravans rested before the most perilous leg of the journey. And Chang'an, the beginning of it all, a city so vast that poets claimed you could walk for days and never see its end. Silk Road cities were not only centers of trade, they were melting pots of humanity. In their streets, languages intertwined, faiths met and mingled, and beneath lantern light and the music of distant flutes, new ideas were born. But the Silk Road was never gentle. To cross it was to test the limits of endurance. The deserts were endless, oceans of sand where the horizon blurred into the sky. The Taklamakan, the place from which no one returns. Its winds carried voices that whispered through the dunes. Caravans moved by the stars, guided by experience and faith. A single wrong turn could mean death. In the mountains of Pamir and Tian Shan, the air grew thin and cold. The path narrowed to stone ledges. The wind howled like a living thing. Snow blinded travelers, and avalanches buried entire trails. Yet still they came. Merchants, monks, wanderers, driven by hope, by curiosity, by destiny. Every hardship endured was a page in humanity's story. Every step carved a connection between worlds. As centuries passed, the Silk Road became far more than a trade route. It became a living bridge, a meeting place of worlds. From China came silk and porcelain. From India, spices, sandalwood, and the soft glow of ivory. From Persia, carpets woven with colors that mirrored the sunset. From Rome, glass so clear it seemed to hold light itself. But what truly flowed along the Silk Road were ideas. With each caravan came new philosophies, new faiths, new dreams. Buddhism traveled from India to China, carried not by kings or armies, but by humble monks walking the mountain paths, their sandals worn thin, their hearts alight with purpose. At the oasis temples of Dunhuang, they painted entire caves with stories of compassion and enlightenment. The walls still breathe with their colors today, reds, golds, and deep blues whispering of an age that never truly vanished. And in return, Chinese art and poetry found their way westward, blending with Persian verse, with Greek thought, with Arab astronomy. The Silk Road did not belong to one nation. It belonged to humanity. It was proof that beauty and knowledge could travel farther than any empire's reach. Close your eyes now. Listen. Hear the sound of footsteps on packed sand, the creak of leather harnesses, the slow, rhythmic bell of the lead camel. Over it all, a faint melody carried by the wind, a lute from Persia, a bamboo flute from China, the beat of a drum from the steppes. Music traveled these roads too, invisible cargo, carried in memory and song. And when merchants met at night, beneath the moon's gentle light, the music joined them together, no matter their tongue, their faith, or their homeland. Somewhere in that vast desert night, a merchant might hum a tune learned from a stranger hundreds of miles away, a melody that would echo through generations, unrecorded, but never forgotten. That was the true wealth of the Silk Road, not gold, not silk, but the quiet harmony of human connection. But all journeys, no matter how wondrous, must one day face the horizon's end. As centuries rolled onward, the world began to change. Empires rose and fell. New powers claimed the trade routes, and old roads grew silent beneath the drifting sands. The Mongols brought both destruction and unity, their vast empire briefly reopening the arteries of the Silk Road. But even their might could not hold back time. By the 15th century, the age of sea voyages had dawned. Ships, their sails white as clouds, cut through ocean waters faster and safer than any caravan. And so, one by one, the way stations fell quiet. The inns emptied. The wells gathered dust. But the spirit of the road, the whisper of its travellers, did not vanish. It lingered in stories, in art, in the shared blood of civilizations that had once touched across its golden veins. Today, the Silk Road is quiet. The caravans no longer pass. The watchtowers stand in ruin, their stones softened by centuries of wind. Yet if you walk its ancient paths, you can still feel it. The heartbeat beneath the earth. A fragment of silk buried in sand. A pottery shard painted with colours that once crossed a continent. The silence hums with memory. And in that silence, you might imagine the laughter of merchants, the jingle of coins, the whisper of wind through banners once bright with colour. It is said that no road ever truly ends. It simply changes form. And so the Silk Road lives on, in the fabrics we wear, the words we speak, the art that shapes our world. So now, dear traveller, our journey draws to its quiet end. We have walked through deserts and mountains, stood in markets alive with scent and sound, and listened to the timeless music of humanity, all of it connected by a thread of silk woven through the centuries. If you close your eyes, you can still hear it, the slow tread of camels in the sand, the whisper of silk brushing against wood, the murmur of languages long faded from memory. The Silk Road was never just a path across the earth. It was a path across the heart, a reminder that we are all travelers, carrying stories from one generation to the next. And though the sands may have covered the stones, the spirit of those journeys still drifts, softly, on the winds of time. Until next time, rest well, traveller. May your dreams be filled with the glow of lanterns, the scent of faraway spice, and the quiet music of forgotten roads. Subscribe for more relaxing stories from history.